want to start just by defining mindfulness for you. You know it or you don't know it, but I think it's always nice to be reminded. So I like to define mindfulness as paying attention on purpose to the present moment with a kind and curious attention and a willingness to be with what is. So if you were here last week in our little sesh, you know that I highlighted this idea of the kind and curious awareness, and we worked with that a little bit in the meditation. And maybe over the past week you were able to sit with that awareness. Maybe you were able to pay attention to how it is that you pay attention. If not, no big deal. But I think it's the expectation isn't that you're all of a sudden going to be super kind and compassionate with yourself right away, but maybe that as you start to tune in more and notice more how you're paying attention, bringing awareness is kind of the first step to create change. So I hope that was supportive for you. And this week I wanted to just quickly focus on the last bit of that definition I just mentioned, which is the willingness to be with what is, be with things as they are. And this can also be called equanimity, another phrase that you might have heard for it. And equanimity is a state of balance, even-mindedness, and a sense of stability and calm amongst the ever-changing nature of life, which right now feels like the ever-changing minutes of life. So I just felt like equanimity could be a great place to tap into a little bit today. And we naturally cultivate equanimity as a result of mindfulness practice, whether that's formal meditation or just in mindfulness in daily life. But you can kind of supercharge it in your meditation practice. So I wanted to just throw a little bit of that in today because I need it. Maybe you do too. But what I want to say before we get started is that a willingness to be with things as they are doesn't mean that I like it. Doesn't mean that I love it, and it doesn't mean that I want things to be this way. But it kind of starts to acknowledge the fact that things are as they are. And it really, what I think is so great about it is that it taps into the truth that so much of my suffering is in my resistance to things. Suffering can be optional. If I'm not in resistance to life, I'm not going to be suffering in the same way. So that is really important to me. And an example of this that I face all the time is with my anxiety. I have a habit of feeling anxiety and being like, nope, not going to do this. We're avoiding this. I'm going to run away from this, pretend it's not here. And what I've learned over time is that resistance to the anxiety is actually a lot worse than if I were just to do what I now know how to do, which is do a practice around my anxiety and be like, hey, anxiety, what's up? Here you are. I'm here with you. I'm going to, do my thing with you. It's easier, which is shocking and hilarious at the same time. So I start to learn all different ways of my life where I'm in resistance to life as life is. And the more I can approach life with a willingness to be with things as they are, the more ease is in my life. Two things I want to say quickly about that is one, not suggesting that you should accept the unacceptable. Some things are unacceptable, and we don't sit with those things. And on the flip side of that, equanimity is not about becoming disengaged or dispassionate in life. In fact, it's not apathetic at all. In fact, I find that when I can find equanimity and be equanimous, I am more engaged. When I'm not in resistance to life, I'm more engaged with life, with the people I'm in a room with, for example. So it's just a lovely thing. I think that's all I'm going to say about it. And what I'm going to offer towards the end of the practice today, I'll explain it later, but I'm just going to invite you to offer this equanimity practice at the end to whether it's something you've been having a hard time with, a challenging emotion or feeling, idea, or just life in general, because life is challenging right now. Whatever feels like it wants some love and attention, and that you want to maybe play around with, am I willing to be with what is, with this thing as it is? So I'm going to stop talking. Let's get started. Inviting you all to get comfortable, find a position that feels good to you. You could be sitting, you could be standing, and you could be lying down. Whatever feels best to your body today in this moment. Always work with what's going on with you. That's what's most important. I will say that if it's comfortable and you can find a somewhat alert posture while still being relaxed, that's suggested just because you won't get into kind of the sleepy state if you can kind of have a straight spine. So, just go ahead and close your eyes if that's comfortable to you. You can always keep them open if that feels better, but the recommendation is just to have a slightly lowered gaze, a soft gaze. Don't focus in on anything. Let your eyes relax, kind of rest. And let's just start together by taking some deep breaths in through the nose, breathing into the belly, filling the belly with air, and gently letting it go through the mouth. Feeling free to make a sign. No one can hear you unless you're with someone and then they can hear you, but who cares? Breathing in through the nose, down into the belly, and let it go. Let's do 2 more just like that. Breathing in through the nose, noticing what it's like to be full with air, with oxygen, and then noticing what it's like to release and contract. On this last one, I want you to imagine as you breathe in that you're picking up any fear, worry, anxiety that you want to let go of right now. Imagine the breath is just picking it up. And then on the exhale, watch it leave with the sigh through the mouth. Just letting go. And now we're going to use our awareness to invite some relaxation into the body. I like to start all my meditations with relaxation. It just really grounds me in the moment. So like I said, bringing your awareness now to your face. Let's start with your face and your forehead and your cheeks and your jaw. And as you bring this awareness to your face, use your awareness as an invitation to release tension. Maybe you notice that you're holding something. There's like a tension in the jaw and the muscles. Just let it go. And moving to your neck, the front and back of your neck. Releasing any tension that's held there. And coming to the tops of your shoulders, really melting any tension down over the tops of your arms, your lower arms, into your hands. Really welcoming release. And coming now to your chest. Inviting the muscles in the chest to release and relax. And maybe your awareness goes all the way down into your heart, the muscles around your heart. What would it be like to relax your heart? How much can you relax your heart right now? And bringing your awareness down to your stomach, your intestines, all the organs, processing, digesting, not only food, but our experiences as well. Sending them an invitation to let go a little, release. They're safe to relax. And moving down into your hips and your pelvis. Releasing, relaxing any emotional tension, physical tension that might be stored there. Coming to your upper back, noticing any tension in the upper back. Maybe this is resentment or judgment, anger that's just stuck up there. And just sending an invitation to release, melt down through your mid-back, down through your lower back, picking up tension and watching as it melts into the ground below you. And coming now to the tops of your legs, bringing your awareness to the thighs and the hamstrings, inviting them gently to relax and release. And down over the lower legs, and all the way into the feet. And just imagining any excess tension in the feet or in any other part of the body, just draining out through the bottoms of the feet into the ground. Letting the ground take it, hold it for you. Safe to let go. Taking a few breaths into the body as a whole, noticing any remaining tension. It's totally fine, there's always going to be tension, but maybe offering a little extra breath, support, and relaxation to an area of tension that you notice. And we're now going to bring our attention, our awareness to the sounds going on around you in the room where you are, maybe outside of the room where you are. Just opening your ears with this kind, curious awareness to what's going on right now. Noticing the nuances of the sound around you. Noticing how they change in each moment. Maybe one noise stops and another one begins. And letting go of any thinking around the sound. Be willing to be with the sound just as the sound is. You don't need to like it or dislike it. You don't need to want it to go away or be louder or softer. Just listen. Practice just being with what is. Maybe you notice silence. What does silence sound like? And if you're enjoying the sounds, I invite you to stick with sounds as, we'll call it your anchor. It's going to anchor you into the present moment. You're going to keep listening to sounds. But if you'd like, you can switch to the breath as the anchor. So if you're curious, notice where you're breathing in the body. Where can you feel the breath showing up in the body right now? Some people notice it in the rise and the fall of the chest. Some people can feel the breath going in and out of the belly. Or maybe you feel it most strongly in your nose, in and out through the nostrils, noticing temperature changes. There's no right or wrong. Just choose one if you can't decide, whatever seems interesting to you right now. And just feel your breath as it comes in and out of the body. Kind, curious awareness to what it's like to be breathing right now. No breath is the same. So how curious can you be about what this breath is like? And then what this breath feels like. Once again, we're trying to stay out of any stories around the breath. You like it, you don't like it, meditation is boring. Just keep focusing on the breath. It's all you're being asked to do right now. If it feels supportive to you, you can also label just silently in the mind, in as you breathe in, and out as you breathe out. If the mind feels busy, this can really help to focus and steady. Super gently repeating in the mind, in as you notice the breath come into the body, and out as you notice the breath leave. Eventually, because you are a human being, your mind will wander. If it already has maybe 100 times, it's not wrong. It's what the brain does. It's actually the moment of mindfulness, the kind of the magic moment happens when you notice. Oh, I wondered. Inviting you just to gently label it silently in the mind, thinking, wondering, and then come back to your anchor, your breath, feeling the breath in the body. Finding your willingness to be with what is right now. You're breathing. You're safe to be breathing. In and out. If you notice the mind wanders, not a problem. You don't need to judge yourself or your mind. Just gently noticing, oh, I wandered. And then come back to the breath. feel this breath in this one present moment. In and out. In and out. Feeling this breath, being with this breath. And now we're going to add in some phrases to support the equanimity like we talked about earlier, our desire to be with things as they are. You can gently let go of the focus on the breath, keeping your eyes closed. I'm going to invite you to repeat some phrases silently in your mind, whether you want to direct those to, like I mentioned, a certain issue you're having that you'd like to bring some equanimity to, or if you want to just bring it to life or the world in general. I'm going to suggest some phrases for you to repeat in the mind, but feel free to modify whatever feels good to you, what words make sense to you right now. So you're going to be offering these phrases. My suggestions are, may I be with things, or may I be with this thing as they are. May I be with myself as I am. Feel free to add any specifics. May I be with my anxiety just as it is. And if you're not there yet, may I one day be with things as they are. May I one day be willing to be with myself as I am. Some other options, this too shall pass. May I know I'll get through this. Whatever resonates with you, or maybe it's something completely different that you know you want to offer yourself to find this willingness to be with things just as they are right now. Continuing to repeat them silently in the mind. Maybe you imagine that you're sending them to yourself. You're sending them to a situation that you're struggling with. May I be with things as they are. May I be with myself just as I am. This too shall pass. May I know I'll get through this. Continuing to repeat these phrases, offering this gentle, loving kindness to yourself. May I be with things as they are. May I be with myself just as I am. May I know I'll get through this. And I want you just to take a second. You can stop repeating the phrases. Tune into your body. Bring the awareness, like we did earlier in the meditation, to scan how you feel right now. Notice if there's any ease in the body, any relaxation, some deeper relaxation as a result of these phrases. There might not be, and that's totally fine. But it's important to notice how we feel and check in with ourselves. We do have the ability to bring this peace and relaxation into the body. And just noticing how it feels, how you feel right now. And keeping your eyes closed, I invite you to take some gentle movements, some mindful movements, giving your body what might feel good right now. Maybe a neck roll, maybe a stretch of the arms, the legs, just waking the physical body back up. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon, evening. It's definitely evening. I really appreciate it. I'm happy you took this time for yourself. I am here if you have any questions, comments, feedback. Feel free to send me a note, whether privately or on this platform. Love to engage and answer any questions and just offer any support that I can. I just wanted to share that if you don't know, I am still offering free 15-minute Reiki sessions during this very confusing time. So please reach out if you'd like to take advantage of that. I'd love to do that. Just send me any thoughts, questions. I'm here for you. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'll be around for a few if you have any questions. Thanks so much for coming. I invite you to also notice this week when you're maybe in resistance